This is a recording of Chapter 17, Environmental Economics, Politics, and Worldviews. Most economic systems use three types of resources to produce goods and services. These three types of resources include natural capital or human resources, and manufactured capital or manufactured resources. Natural capital includes resources and services produced by the Earth's natural processes, which support all economies and all life. We discussed this concept throughout the semester. Natural resources, natural cycles, including the nutrient cycle, water, energy, etc. Human capital includes people's physical and mental talents that provide labor, innovation, culture, and organization. Manufactured capital includes items like machinery, equipment, and factories made from natural resources with the help of human resources. We will focus on natural capital and how it relates to the economy. There are two economic views, neoclassical economists and ecological economists. The beliefs of neoclassical economists and ecological economists differ vastly. First, we will go over neoclassical. Neoclassical economists view the Earth's natural capital as part of the economic system. They view natural resources as entities which are available for humans to use to grow the economy. They assume that the potential for economic growth is essentially unlimited, and it is necessary for providing businesses with profits and workers with jobs. Ecological economists believe that there are no substitutes for Earth's natural resources, such as air, water, and biodiversity, or ecological services, such as climate control, pest control, and nutrient cycling. Economic systems depend heavily on the Earth's irreplaceable natural resources and services. And another belief is that economic growth eventually will become unsustainable because it can deplete and degrade the Earth's natural capital, and because economic growth will exceed the capacity of the environment to handle the pollutants and wastes that we produce. The clash between those two economic views can cause quite a bit of conflict. So most things cost more than we think. The market price or direct price that we pay for something does not include most of the indirect or external costs of harm to the environment and human health that are associated with the production and the use of that item that we're buying. Hidden costs are the indirect or external costs that have harmful effects on people or on the environment. For example, environmental effects of using fossil fuels include climate change, air pollution, etc. But these harmful effects are not included in the price of the fossil fuels. Reducing pollution and resource waste by selling services instead of things. Our proposed new economic model could provide profits while reducing the use of resources, reduce pollution and waste. We can shift from the current material flow economy to a surface flow economy. And this would include customers renting or leasing services instead of purchasing. And for example, people can rent clothing and accessories instead of buying them. Also, for example, since 1992, Xerox has been leasing most of its copy machines instead of selling them. There are environmentally sustainable businesses and careers. For example, green jobs. These are jobs devoted to improving environmental conditions, developing cleaner and low carbon energy resources, and promoting environmental sustainability. For example, green architecture. So University Hall on the WPU campus was built with a whole lot of green architecture concepts in mind. This is a list of environmentally sustainable businesses and careers that you could pursue if you are interested. These environmentally sustainable, eco-friendly businesses and careers are expected to flourish during this century, while environmentally harmful businesses are expected to decline. So you could read through this list. Individuals can influence environmental policy. History shows that significant change usually comes from the bottom up, when individuals join together to bring about change. Without grassroots political action by millions of individual citizens and organized citizen groups, the air you breathe and the water you drink today would be much more polluted. Much more of the Earth's biodiversity would have disappeared. So individuals do have power to have influence. At a fundamental level, all politics is local. What we do to improve environmental quality in our own neighborhoods, schools, and workplaces has national and global implications. So we could think globally and act locally. These are some ways in which you could influence environmental policy. So you could read through that. Students and educational institutions can play important environmental roles. Since the mid-1980s, there has been a boom in environmental awareness on US college campuses and in public and private schools across the US. Students, faculty, and administration work together to make environmental improvements. Environmental audits of campuses or schools can gather data on practices affecting the environment and are used to propose changes. Environmentally sustainable practices can also save money. Now, on the William Patterson campus, we have the Green League. So you can look into that further. But it is a club on campus that deals with environmental issues and environmental sustainability. And I think they were going to look into planting a community garden on campus, for example. Also, a couple of years ago, there was a showing of Al Gore's new movie, the movie An Inconvenient Sequel that I mentioned in the last lecture. They had a viewing of that movie. I believe that was through the Green League. I'm not sure exactly, but you can look into it. Also, they've done hikes on campus, different things like that. So now we're going to look at environmental worldviews. There are a variety of environmental worldviews. People disagree on how serious various environmental problems are, as well as on what we should do about them. So environmental worldviews are how people think the world works and what they believe their role in the world should be. There is a widespread lack of understanding of how the earth works, how it keeps us alive, and how it supports our economies. And this can affect a person's worldview. So this is a comparison between three major environmental worldviews. You have a planetary management worldview, stewardship worldview, and an environmental wisdom worldview. So the planetary management worldview is that we are apart from the rest of nature and can manage nature to meet our increasing needs and wants. Because of our ingenuity and technology, we will not run out of resources. The potential for economic growth is essentially unlimited, and our success depends on how well we manage the Earth's life support systems mostly for our benefit. The stewardship worldview is that we have an ethical responsibility to be caring managers or stewards of the earth. We will probably not run out of resources, but they should not be wasted. We should encourage environmentally beneficial forms of economic growth and discourage environmentally harmful forms. And our success depends on how well we manage the Earth's life support systems for our benefit and for the rest of nature. Environmental wisdom is that we are a part of and totally dependent on nature, and nature exists for all species. Resources are limited and should not be wasted. We should encourage Earth-sustaining forms of economic growth and discourage Earth-degrading forms. Our success depends on learning how nature sustains itself and integrating such lessons from nature into the ways we think and act. So as you can see, some environmental worldviews are human-centered, focusing primarily on the needs and wants of people. Others are life or earth-centered, focusing on individual species, the entire biosphere, or some level in between. So did your worldview change during the class or after taking this class? The concept of worldviews goes back to one of the first concepts that we discussed when we talked about, are we apart from nature or are we part of nature? So that was something that we went over the very beginning of the semester. So you could think about that. Did your ideas change? Which of these three worldviews do you think you have? Did anything change? Take some time and think about it. Think about what impact different things that you learned about had on your worldview. Different worldviews lead to people having different agendas and priorities. It is difficult for someone to change their worldview, which makes compromise and negotiation in businesses, the economy, and politics a challenge. For example, how do you convince someone with a planetary management worldview that it is important to care about plants, animals, using up our natural resources, climate change, etc.? Now, I'm not placing value judgment on any of the worldviews. I'm just stating what the concepts are. Okay? But you do have a clash when you have people who have different worldviews. They're going to have different priorities in their life. They're going to see a different priority than someone else with a different worldview. So that makes compromise and negotiation challenging in many aspects of life and in the economy and politics and businesses and things like that. So then we have environmental ethics. Environmental ethics is what a person believes about what is right and what is wrong in our behavior toward the environment. Environmental ethics can lead to environmentally responsible actions. We can use the principles of sustainability to mimic the ways in which nature sustains itself. We can try not to deplete or degrade the Earth's natural capital. We can try not to waste matter and energy resources. We can work to protect biodiversity. We can work to repair ecological damage that we have caused. And we could leave the Earth in as good a condition as we found it or better. We can learn how to live more simply and sustainably. We can fight back against affluenza. People can try not to seek happiness through the pursuit of material things. And we can understand marketing, modern advertising, which is persistent in trying to get people to buy more and more things. We can understand that and then try to resist the nature to pursue buying more material items. And we saw that movie Affluenza at the start of the semester. We can live more simply. Research shows that what a growing number of people really want is more community, greater and more fulfilling interactions with family, friends, and neighbors, and a greater opportunity to express creativity and have more fun. This is a list of ways in which people can live more lightly on Earth, related to food, transportation, home energy use, and resource use. So we could try to reduce meat consumption, buy or grow organic food, and buy locally grown food, reduce car use by walking, biking, carpooling, car sharing, and using mass transit, drive an energy efficient vehicle, insulate homes, plug air leaks, and install energy efficient windows, use energy efficient heating and cooling systems, energy efficient lights and appliances, and reduce, reuse, recycle, compost, replant, and share, and use renewable energy resources whenever possible. We can bring about a sustainability revolution. There are 3 social science principles of sustainability. Full cost pricing, that is from an economics perspective. So in working toward this goal, we would find ways to include in market prices the harmful environmental and health costs of producing and using goods and services. Win-win solutions from a political science perspective by focusing on solutions that will benefit the largest possible number of people as well as the environment. We might learn to work together consistently in dealing with environmental problems, and a responsibility to future generations, and that's from an ethical perspective of sustainability. Through this principle, we would accept our responsibility to leave the planet's life support systems in at least as good a shape as what we now enjoy for all future generations. And that concludes chapter 17. And that concludes the material for the environmental sustainability course. Thank you.